I'm Wilderness Eric. Welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. Today I'm going to be reviewing all of these masks. I just recently went back out to the river to do some more gold sniping, and I got all the way out there and all the way in, ready to go, and I broke my favorite mask. I didn't have a backup, so it ruined my day. I broke my favorite mask. I'm just lucky there's no glass in my eyes or in my face. That's sad. But that's a story for another video. Before I went back to the river, I needed a new mask. I wanted a really good mask, so I hopped on Google to look for mask reviews. I did find a lot of information about reviews of masks, but I didn't find any actual hands-on reviews. And I couldn't find any hands-on testing review videos comparing different masks. Almost all of the videos I found were just low-effort voiceovers, reading the descriptions on the product pages. So I decided to hop on Amazon and just buy a bunch of the most rated and highest rated masks that I could find. This way I could do a hands-on review of some of the most popular masks and find the best one. I purchased both regular snorkeling masks and some full face masks because I'm gearing up for some winter snorkeling. In this video I'm going to be reviewing the regular snorkeling masks, and in the next video I'm going to be reviewing the full face masks. First I'm going to show you how they all arrived in their packagings. Then I'm going to take them all out to the river and test them all day long. Then I'm going to come back here and let you know the verdict. Okay, here's all the masks we're going to test. And I'm going to get video of unboxing all of them so you guys can see how they're packaged up. Starting out with the Aqua Dive Sports Mask. Comes with this nice hard case to keep the mask nice. And inside there is a little pamphlet, user manual, and silica gel. And there's the mask. That's a nice looking mask. Now it appears this mask is plastic. So you'd have to be really careful not to scratch the lens on this mask. Here's the next pair of goggles, and this is Bairuifu Swim. A little bit different of a nose shape right here, a little angular and flat. It's got a little notch right here. This is a tempered glass lens. And the next one is the Rossi Diving Mask RS4. It's like a nice mask. It does have this down the middle, which does obstruct the view when you look back and forth with your eyes a little bit. But I wanted to test out a couple different styles. So this appears to be plastic on the side and tempered glass on the front. Just a regular nose cut out there inside. Okay, moving on to the 3 snorkeling kits. These are not just masks, they come also with a snorkel or snorkel and fins. So this one is the Snorkeling Gear NG Travel Adults. Can't remember the brand exactly. So that's pretty compact. Folds up nicely. That'd be nice and small for travel. It's like a tempered glass lens. And the snorkel. Kind of sticky. Alright. Nice and flexible. It's got the thing on the top that doesn't allow water to come in. It's like a little float valve inside, little float cylinder. And it has a little connector for your mask. A purge valve on the bottom for water. Alright, next mask and snorkel kit is the Bairuifu. Bairuifu, I'm not quite sure how to say that. Comes in this nice mesh bag here. And here's the mask. It says, jumping is prohibited, otherwise the glass will be damaged. So this is a tempered glass lens. Nice and flexible. And inside we have a snorkel. And it looks like maybe the snorkel's in 2 pieces here. Or 3 pieces actually. So the snorkel breaks down into 3 pieces. It's easy enough to put together. And it looks like you can use it without a valve or with a valve to prevent water from coming down your snorkel. So that's nice. If you don't want the valve, you just put it on. It's got a nice angle here in the bottom. Here we go. So I took the little lens protectors off of this mask, and there was a lens protector on both sides, but there also appears to be a little layer inside here, and I don't know if they put some kind of anti-fog plastic layer or what, but that'll be interesting to see how that works when we test it out. Okay, last kit we're going to test here is the Z-Porte or Z-Port dive snorkeling kit. So this is a mask, snorkel, and fins all in one kit. One of the flippers. The other flipper. And this appears to be a cheaper plastic lens mask. So you'd have to be really careful, again, not to scratch this one. Nice and rubbery. Let's see how it works. And the snorkel actually looks decent. It's got the valve on top, nice clip for your mask, and I like this angle here. If you've ever spent any time snorkeling, a lot of them come straight like this, and in order to keep it in your mouth, you have to constantly bite on this, and your jaw gets tired. But if it's angled like this, it just sits in your mouth and you can relax your mouth as you swim. So they really thought this one through when they made it, looks like. And it's got the purge valve on the bottom. I think I'm going to like this snorkel. Okay, here's all the masks in order of how I open them up, from right to left. go test them out. I'm headed out to the river today to my Goldie Rocks claim to do some more gold sniping. That's where I go and give myself hypothermia and crawl on my belly in the cold mountain river to find a few specks of gold. I love it. It's going to be a blast. Okay, I'm in the river and I'm ready to test the masks. The first one I'm going to test out is this one. I'm gold sniping on a spot on the river where I've been finding some really good gold. I'm waving the dirt and gravel off the bedrock and finding gold specks all over the place. Sometimes I even find it on the clay layers. It didn't take very long until I found my first chunks of gold for the day. I use what's called a snuffer bottle to suck the gold off the bottom. And I always see some really neat creatures when I'm out on the river. Well, I like this one. The mask is good, the snorkel is good. It is a plastic lens, but it is also a true no fog lens. It didn't fog one bit, not even a hint of fog. So I do like this mask. And for the price, that's hard to beat. Now this snorkel, when you get water in it, it's a little bit hard to clear. Other than that, it's a great set. Okay, now it's time for this one. So, we'll see how this one works. It's gonna have to be tightened. The tightening is fast. Good strong seal. See the angle of the snorkel? How I have to bite it so it doesn't pull out of my mouth? That's not ideal. So this mask is fogging up. Just like any glass lens, it's going to fog on you, and you got to prep it properly so it doesn't fog. But it seems to be working well. It's got a good seal. This is a good mask. It doesn't have a really wide field of vision. My field of vision is right about there. So it's not as wide as some of the other masks. Okay, here's the next mask that I'm testing out. It's too loose. Gotta tighten it. Pretty easy to tighten. Good strong seal. Actually, this angle works really well. It's got these nice fat things so I don't have to bite it. I can kind of relax my mouth and it's staying in. I just found an awesome pocket of gold on the bedrock with a whole bunch of gold flakes in it and two nice little nuggets sitting on the bottom. But that's going to be in a future video. If you want to see that one, you're going to have to subscribe. That one's coming up. I'm calling this my lucky mask. Well, this mask works really well. So far, I think this is my favorite mask and snorkel, a combination of both. And you can see, this is the mask that had that film stuck to the inside. You can see it fogging right here, but where the film is, there's zero fog. So this is a true anti-fog mask, and it's glass, so it won't scratch on the outside. This is a great mask. Okay, the next mask I'm going to be testing is this one. This is not the snorkel it came with, but I like this snorkel, so I'm going to be using it with this mask. Good seal. It's got a nice field of view because of the edges here. My field of view is about like that. Alright, so immediately I'm seeing that the mask is fogging up. But I'm also noticing that even though the field of view is great, it does have a big drawback. The sun is coming in the side of the mask and reflecting off the inside, so I can't see as well underwater. So, between the fogging and the reflecting, in this case, it's not doing very well. Now, if you're in a place where you want to be really aware of what's around you, a mask like this is good because you can see shadows and stuff from the sides. But if you need to be able to really see what you're doing underwater in a lot of detail, this may not be the best way to go with the windows on the sides and the clear skirt on the mask. This is a good mask. I think it has its place, but it's not the best for what I'm doing here, where I really need to see detail on the ground. Alright, this is the next mask I'm going to test. Again, this is not the snorkel that came with this mask, but I like this snorkel, so I'm going to use it. So let's give this one a try. Oh, it's way too loose. It's actually uncomfortable on my nose right here. This is the one that had that little split in the mask there, in the strange nose shape. And there's a really hard part that hits the bridge of my nose on this mask. Again, this is a glass lens, so it is fogging up, and I am getting a little bit of glare because of the clear skirt around the mask. Alright, so this mask really fogs up a lot, and it's not real comfortable on the nose. It's got kind of a weird nose shape too. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and try this mask out now. Again, this is not the snorkel that it came with. This mask is another plastic lens mask, so we'll see how this one works. Too loose again. So this one does have a good seal, but again, there's a hard place on the bridge of my nose. It's kind of pushing on my nose. Alright, I had a great day, found a nice bit of gold, and thoroughly tested all the masks. So, it's time to head home and give you the verdict. Well, that was an awesome day of river sniping. I found tons of gold and had a lot of fun. I found a lot of cool creatures. If you want to see that video, you gotta subscribe so you don't miss it. Alright, it's time for the verdict. Which ones are good, which ones are not, and which one worked the best, and why? So we have the 6 different masks here. The 3 without any accessories, and the 3 that came with accessories. Now I want to start out by saying that all of these masks would be a good buy. They are all well built, and they have good soft silicone skirts on them. None of them leaked. Any of these masks I think you would be happy with. So starting with these 3 masks over here, we'll start with the Nora Bida swim goggles mask. Now this mask was the cheapest mask of all the masks that I purchased, at $12.76. That is an amazing deal for a pretty good quality mask. This is a glass lens, which is a pro and a con. You don't have to worry about scratching it, but also glass will fog up. Even if the manufacturers say that it's a no fog lens, if it's glass, it's going to fog up on you. There are some things that you can do to treat the glass so it doesn't fog up as much, but in my experience, it's not 100% fix for glass. The other con about glass is that it can break. If you dive in face first, it puts a lot of pressure out on the sides and puts stress right in the center of the lens here, and it can crack from the center out. I noticed on the reviews of this mask that there were some people who had that experience of diving in and breaking the glass out of their mask just from the water pressure. Now this mask is pretty well built. It's got a good, solid, easy to adjust head strap, and it does not leak at all. Now the major con of this mask, and which is a deal breaker for me, is that this mask has a pressure point right on the bridge of my nose right here. And when I spend hours underwater looking for gold, after time, that's really going to start hurting. So for me, this mask is a no-go. It may just be the shape of my face, and this mask may work for you. But this also is the mask that has the little split design here. But at $12.76, it's hard to go wrong on that mask. So moving on to the Aqua A-Dive Sports Mask. This mask kind of surprised me. I didn't realize I was getting a full plastic mask, but this mask is all plastic. There's no glass in this mask. And that is a pro and a con. Plastic, you really have to worry about getting scratched. I was trying to be really careful not to scratch this one, but I already do have a few scratches in the lens. And the pro of the plastic is that it does not fog. So the whole time I was in the water, there was not even a hint of fog in the lens of this mask, which really is great. And you also don't have to worry about the glass breaking out if you're diving in or bumping against something. This isn't going to break on you. So this is also a solid design. It looks like it's going to last really well. It's got easily adjustable straps on it, and it doesn't leak at all. Now the big con about this mask, again, is a pressure point right on the nose of the mask, right on the bridge of my nose here. Again, that might just be the shape of my face, and it might work for you. But for me, this mask, that's a deal breaker. Now one more thing about this mask, the reason I purchased this one is because it has the side windows. And the idea is that you have a wider field of view, especially if you're diving in places where you want to see things approaching you from the side. And that also is a pro and con, because I noticed when I was underwater looking at the ground, trying to find little pieces of gold, that the sunlight was shining into the side of the mask and reflecting off the front inside of the mask. So I was getting some glare, and it was a little bit harder to see with this mask compared to with some of the others. And that also happened with all of these masks that have the clear skirt. It let in more light inside the mask and created more glare. So it is a plus and minus, because the clear skirt allows you to see shadows coming toward you, but it also creates more glare inside the mask. And at $16.99, this mask is also really a pretty good deal. Okay, moving on to the X-Rossi scuba diving mask. This is another mask that has the side windows. Now these side windows are made out of plastic, and the front windows are glass. So again, the glass has a pro and con, that it does not scratch easily, but this mask did fog up quite a bit. So overall, I think this is a really high quality mask. The fit was great. There was no pressure points. It's a good soft silicone rubber skirt. It's got easily adjustable straps, high quality, good range of motion. So the cons of this mask are that it does fog, and it also has a center frame here, which may or may not be an issue for you. It is an issue for me because it causes a little bit of a loss of vision. If you close one eye, you'll notice it more, but this takes out probably about 20% of the center vision of each eye. It's not really noticeable if you're looking straight forward, but if you're looking one direction, you can kind of notice a loss of vision here right in the center of the mask. But this mask really lets in a lot of light, and you can see the shadows all around you. This is probably the mask that I would choose if I was doing something like shark diving, where I really wanted to know what was coming up beside me. Okay, moving on to these three masks that came with these accessories. Starting with this one, this is the Quambiri Dry Top Snorkel Set. And this is a pretty good deal for this mask. I got this mask for $17.99, and it comes with the mask and a snorkel. So this mask has a glass lens, which again is a pro and a con. You don't have to worry about it getting scratched, but this mask did fog up, just like almost all the other glass masks that I tested. This mask is a really comfortable design. It fit my face really well without any pressure points, and it's got a good sturdy construction with easily adjustable straps. Now one con I did notice about this mask is that the field of view is fairly small, both side to side and up and down. And I don't know, it must have to do with the shape that they used on the mask. But the field of view is really not that great in this mask. Overall, it's a really good quality mask, but it wasn't the best. So moving on to the snorkel. This snorkel is not the best design. If you notice here, this part of the snorkel is straight. So you have to take the snorkel and bend it to your mouth and you have to bite the snorkel as you swim. So over an extended period of time, your jaw muscles get tired and fatigued. And it's really kind of a pain compared to a snorkel that's already pre-shaped like this to just kind of fit in your mouth so you can relax your mouth. Other than that, this is a decent snorkel. It comes with a nice quick disconnect, which I really like. Just click it on and off. Of all the snorkel connections of these 3 masks, I like this one the best because of this quick disconnect. Now this is a soft snorkel, so it folds down nice and tight, but this snorkel also has a couple major flaws. If you look inside the snorkel here, you'll notice that it has a drum mechanism which slides up and down to close off the water from getting into your snorkel. Now when you get into sand, these drum mechanisms tend to grime up, and they don't always work properly after you get sand in them. This snorkel also does come apart, so you don't have to use this top if you don't want to. You can just use it like a regular snorkel, and it folds down nice and small for easy packing. The top and the bottom of this snorkel both come off easily. But overall, I'd say this is a really good set for the price at $17.99. That's hard to beat. I'll come back to this mask in a minute. First, I'm going to show you the Zeporte Dive Snorkeling Mask. Now this one came with a snorkel and fins for $34.98 is the price that I got it for. And this really is a pretty decent set. The mask is all plastic, and it's really lightweight. It feels not super durable, but again, the plastic lens is a pro and a con. It's really easy to scratch. I accidentally got a few scratches on this one as well. Even though I was trying really hard to be careful with these plastic lens masks, they still got scratched. But underwater, there was zero fogging in this mask again with the plastic, and I really like that aspect about plastic. It does not fog up on you. You don't have to worry about clearing your mask off, and I really like that about plastic. It does have nice, well-built, quick adjust straps on the sides, and it does not leak, and it has a nice, soft silicone rubber skirt. So moving on to the snorkel, I think this is a pretty good snorkel design. It's got a nice J shape that goes to your mouth, so you can relax your mouth and hold the snorkel as you swim without any effort, without fatiguing. So this J shape really for me is a must with a snorkel. Now there are a few cons of this snorkel. It was a little bit hard to clear the water out of here. I had to clear it a few times to really get all the water out once I got water in the snorkel. It is also a rigid snorkel, so you can't bend it to fold it down in your luggage. The top does not come off, and this top also has a fatal flaw, and that is if you're diving underwater for an extended period of time and you come up and take a really fast deep breath, this little float here is going to get sucked up and it plugs up. Now for some, that's going to be a really big scary issue. For me, it's not that big of an issue. I have a lot of snorkeling experience, so you just kind of relax and breathe a little bit slower when you come up to take a breath. And this really only happens when you try to take really quick, fast, deep breaths. So it's not a big issue for me, but for some, that may be a deal breaker. I did try these fins and they worked pretty well, and they seem like they're going to last okay. So overall, I think this set is a good deal. So if you're headed out to the tropics and you need a full set with fins and a snorkel and a mask, I think this would be a good buy for you. Okay, moving on to the last and my favorite mask of all the masks that I purchased. This is the Bairuifu snorkel mask. And this mask really surprised me. It does have a glass lens, but it also is the best of both worlds because this lens did not fog one bit. And the reason why is this little film that they put on the inside of the glass. It looks like they put a plastic film on the inside of the glass there, which prevents it from fogging. Now I did notice where the plastic doesn't come all the way quite to the rubber, that the glass was fogging up, but where the plastic was, there was zero fog, not even a hint of fog as I was swimming. So you get the best of both worlds with this mask. You don't have to worry about scratching the front, and you get no fog. But it is glass, and there is no hard frame around it, so I think that this probably would have a decent chance of breaking, especially if you were diving in face first. Now I did notice on some of the reviews that a couple people had this experience of diving in face first, and they shattered the glass on their lens. So any of these full glass face masks, you need to be really careful about not diving in face first, which I also learned the hard way, and that will be in a future video. So moving on to this snorkel, it does have a nice J shape at the bottom here, and it's got nice big tabs for your teeth so that you can put the snorkel in your mouth and just relax your mouth and swim for a long time without any kind of fatigue. It was really easy to clear. When you get water in it, you just blow hard and the water goes out the bottom of the mask. Now this mask is super flexible, so it folds down really small. And the top and bottom are both removable. So if you want to pack down really small, this is a great snorkel set for that. Of all 3 snorkels here that I tested, this snorkel allows the greatest amount of airflow to come in. So as you're breathing deep, you can really get the amount of air that you need. Now that brings me to the one con of this set, and that is the valve on the snorkel. Again, this snorkel has a fatal flaw, just like this other one, that if you breathe in really deep and fast, this little ball will get sucked up and plug off your air. So this might be a big issue for some people. It might be scary as you come up to take a deep breath of air and it plugs up on you. But for me, it's not a deal breaker. You just kind of relax a little bit and breathe a little bit slower, and it doesn't have any issues. It only happens when you breathe in really deep and fast. So I got this mask on sale for $16.99 with the mask and the snorkel. That is an amazing deal for what you get with a great snorkel and a great mask. And this is probably the best mask for compact travel. There's no hard frame, so you can see it really just folds down super flat, and both the mask and the snorkel can be folded in really small, and you're really not going to get a smaller mask and snorkel package than that. If space is a limited issue for you, this is going to be your best bet, this mask right here. Now this mask does appear very quality built. It does have just this little tab on the side that holds the strap on, so I think there's a possibility that this could go bad over time, but so far I don't see any issues with that, and I'm hoping that will not be an issue in the future. The other good thing I like about this mask is because it doesn't have any hard plastic on the sides, it's a really low volume mask, and the glass sits right up next to your eyes. So it has a really good field of view. Of all the masks that I tested without the little side glass, it had the best field of view, both side to side and up and down, because the glass is nice and close to your eyes, and the low volume of air inside the mask means it's not going to try to float up on you underwater and press up on your nose. So this is just an all-around really good mask, really comfortable, lightweight, and it is my favorite mask of all the masks that I tested today. So that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video really useful. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss my next video. I'm going to be testing some full face masks because I'm gearing up for some winter snorkeling. So I hope to see you guys there.